first time here? Then welcome for the first time here. Thank you for showing up and participating and watching my video. I appreciate it very much. Without further ado, we're going to do some brake things today. I'm going to be putting the Brembo calipers together. They are fresh off of the powder coating presses. They're not actually presses. They're, they get baked in a damn oven, all right? That's what happens. So I'm going to be putting it all together, cleaning everything up, and putting them together. Going down in this video. But before we get too far and get down the unbeaten path, as some people like to say, please subscribe down right here. Give me a good old thumbs up and a comment. I'd be very much appreciative if you would do that for me. Thank you. I love you too. Very much. Very, 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 very much. And share this video. I'd really appreciate that. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Say, hey friend, I found a stupid funny guy on the good old YouTube. He likes cars too. Why the hell not? So that's what's coming right at ya.
You are tuned in to Ryan Campbell, Soup to Nuts.
What's going on? How's life treating you? Is it handing you some good things, or is it giving you a good old whack to the juggler? If it whacks you, you gotta whack it back, or at least, throw up a block. Just block that. But I digress. So I'm not going to be actually doing it in the garage. I'm going to be doing it kind of in my laundry pantry area, just because it's nice and clean and I have a little bit of space. I have a nice clean setup because I don't want to get anything messed up on the new calipers. The calipers aren't new, but the powder coating is new. So I got a rebuild kit for them, all the seals and everything. I have the pistons out and everything. I'll link up here a video of me taking the calipers apart. This is a while ago that I did this. But I'll link the video up here so you can see exactly everything that I took apart into pieces. But I got a full rebuild kit, all the seals and everything inside the calipers for the pistons and all that, etc., etc. And so first thing you're going to be seeing, I'll show you, I'll do a little video and show you, I have everything laid out, and I'll show you, you'll see the pretty color. So I'll show you that first, and then we'll jump into a time-lapse after that of me cleaning up a bunch of pots. I'm gonna clean some pots. Okie dokie. So, this is the calipers. Looking all purty. Look at the purty girl. So this is what you get when you powder coat your calipers. I don't have the, I do have, they're not on yet obviously, the decals. I have them right here flapping around. I'm going to put everything together, bolt them all together, etc., etc. Then I'm going to put the calipers on at the end. So that way I don't mess up the, the decal. I might have misspoke there, I don't know. I don't even know what the hell is going on most of the time. Every third word out of my mouth is, I have no control over this stuff anymore. I'm out of control. But I have it kind of laid out here. Basically, that will be like the front of the car, essentially. So that will be the front passenger. This will be the front driver. This would be the rear driver. That would be the rear passenger. So I got the hardware all set up here. Hardware. I have the front, obviously, is bigger. I wrap tape around the Allen to fit it. I'm trying to keep... See, the inside of it's powder coated, even though this is the head of the bolt is actually on the inside of the wheel well, but I want to keep from chipping it and whatnot. You actually see this side once it's on the car, from the outside. Again, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. This is just out of my control. I apologize, but there's no controlling this mouth at all. So I have this layout set up. I have a bunch of supplies and crap down here, even though it doesn't look like much. But I have all the hardware, the parts, the pins,
seal kit's down there. So I'm going to be using that pan there with some brake clean here. And get some gasoline. I have some brushes and stuff in there as well. Get some gasoline. I'm going to thoroughly clean the parts off and use brake clean and gasoline and do that on the patio. So I'm going to time lapse that though. So that's the first thing you're going to see is me getting everything nice and clean and ready to be put on. Then we'll get to putting everything together. Okay.
Got everything laid out here. It's all laid out here.
So this is the rear driver, rear passenger, front driver, front passenger. So you get a little sneak peek of the powder coat here. Obviously it's not put together yet. We're in the process. These are the old, I have all the old brake pads. I got new StopTech brake pads. This is the front, this is the rear. I also have new seals and all that here. Those are asked for the rear, and I got new seals and everything for the front. I also have new screws that hold these little guys in there. I already put one in. This is basically so I have new stainless. This is where my thumb is stainless screw. Would focus. There we go. So there's a new stainless screw that hold these little brackets in. It's the bracket I just showed you. It bolts in here. So obviously there's 2 per each side of the caliper. So basically there's 4 per caliper. So I have new stainless hard because the old ones is the old one. You can see it's not in the best condition. They were slightly stripping when I was taking them out. They're very, I had to be very diligent and be very careful to not strip this out when I was taking them out. We were right on the edge of the cliff, folks. The new brake pads do have new, I don't know what they're called, there's like retaining clips or something like that. They do have new retaining clips I'm going to use, and they also have new pins that hold the pads in as well. So I got new that. I already put on the bleeder screw, or the bleeder rubber boot cover, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. But I already put these on just so I didn't forget, because once these are screwed on and tightened into the caliper, obviously the way it's situated, once it's on, the only way to replace the rubber properly is to take it off. So I didn't want to forget to do that. So just to show you, in case you don't know, this is a piston. The front, each side there's four piston calipers in the front. So basically there's a big and small on each side. So there's 2 on each side of the caliper. So as you can see, that's where they go, these 2 holes. You can see with the one on the right is a little bit bigger than the one on the left. So, but basically this is a piston. When they talk about how many piston caliper, this is what a piston looks like. So this is the dust boot kind of goes into this groove here, and then you throw her, and there's the seal. You can kind of see that lip in here. That's for this it's like the recoil seal. So basically, when you let off the brake pressure, the rubber kind of rolls back and pulls the piston back into the piston into the caliper rather. So basically it goes in so I have to put the rubbers in here, into these inner grooves first. And then it's pretty tight, as it should be for sealing purposes. Otherwise, it won't work properly. But this is kind of hard with one hand a little bit. basically it pushes down. I'm not getting it right because I have one hand. It's not perfectly square. You have to be perfectly square to just slide it in. So basically, but you put it like this, you slide it in, and then around the outside, this lip and this lip here, and then that. There's basically like a dust, what they call it, like a dust cover. It's basically like a dust boot. They might even call it a dust boot too, I don't know. But basically there's a rubber that attaches here and here, so when it comes out, it kind of like it expands a little bit like accordion kind of. I mean, it doesn't come out this far, but you know, it might come out half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. Also depends on how much your brake pads get worn down. The more they get worn down, the further the piston comes out, because it, you know, it has to push the brake pad further to actually clamp down onto the rotor. But I just want to kind of show you what pistons inside of a brake caliper look like. This is a piston inside of a brake caliper. And these are the brake pads. These are old ones, so I'm not using them. So, as you can see, I even have the caliper bolts that this bolts the caliper together. So I have both ends powder coated to match. So it's going to look all pretty. And then I have in this envelope, I'll do the unveil later, but in this envelope, I got the decal that's going to go across the front. Basically, it's going to go across, you know, here. Like, you know, this is where it would say Brembo. It's not going to say Brembo, but this is where, you know, it would say Brembo on it. And this, you know, for other cars, like it was a Porsche, it would say Porsche here. Or, you know, different manufacturers often put, you know, the manufacturer of the car name on here, but, you know, this one is going to say something different. So I'm going to time lapse putting all these back together. I got to bolt these guys into here, one on each side, one there. Put the rubber inside here for both. Then put the rubber on the piston, and rubber into this groove as well. Push the piston in. Then after that, that little middle hole there's a rubber O-ring. Basically, that's what transfers the fluid from one side of the caliper to the other. So I got to put that on, and then I put this piece and this piece together, clamshell them together, and then run these bolts through, tighten it down. And then after that, you gotta take the brake pads, get them in position, and then the spring clip or retainer clip, whatever it's called, you gotta put that in position, and then slide these pins over it, so that way it retains the brake pads in the right place. And then it's done. They're ready to be thrown on the car at that point. But every caliper is the same thing. So I'll just show you a time lapse of me doing all the damn work, but every caliper is the same process, so it's just repeated. But you know, we'll do a time lapse of me, you know, getting all these parts and crap together. Got them all together, all in one piece. I know the camera cut out of the time-lapse footage because I ran into a problem and actually had to order a tap because the taps I had didn't have the right threads. It was a M10 by 1.00, which I guess is not common, but this bleeder screw here, I was trying for like 45 minutes to an hour and got nowhere. So I got the new tap, had to order it, wait for it, came in, ran the tap in, carefully put this, the bleeder screw in, boom, it was done in like 2 or 3 minutes. So, I mean, that would have helped with a couple other ones were pretty difficult too, but I did get them, but that definitely would have helped this whole entire process. So, I recommend if you powder coat your brakes or powder coat anything that has, you need to have things threaded right, make sure you have the right size taps and dies on hand. Because sometimes a little bit of powder coating or paint or whatever the case, if you're painting it, gets into the threads a little bit, and then you can't really thread things in properly, and the paint kind of binds, or the powder coat will kind of bind things up, and it could end up cross-threading, causing thread issues. So, that being said, gonna time lapse putting the stickers on, and then I'll bring you back. Look at these sexy little girls. So sexy. Look at the little girl. Such a cutie. Such a little cutie pie. This gets the thumbs up seal of approval. You know it, baby. So, we're all ready to go. Just gotta get bolted into the old car. Bolt into the car. Gotta bolt it into the car. That's what has to be done here. So you can kind of see from the top. I'll show you top view here, and so you can see the pins that hold the pads in place, with the spring clip that kind of holds the pads pushed down into place as well. You got the pins here that hold the pin. I got the clips here that hold the pins in. The clips hold the pins. I got this guy in the back. This is where the brake line comes in. I still have to put on. I still have to take off the stock brakes, but I got these guys ready to go. And so I ain't put the rubber caps over, because obviously you got to put everything in, got to put all the fluid in, all that type of thing, and then got to bleed the whole system. So no sense of putting the caps on yet, but they're ready to rock. They are rock ready. So that's the girl. That's the 4 girls. That's the 4 girls. Look how sexy that is. Just look at it. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. Got some things done again. It's a miracle. It's not Christmas yet, but it's a miracle. Got some things done. How about that? It's a miracle. A miracle, I tell ya. It's not Christmas, but it's a miracle. I'm gonna count it. That goes on the board. That goes on the board. So get some applause. Hey, pat me on the good old back. Pat me on the back. On the back. I better stop before I get a little throat issues and start losing the good old voice. The good old speech cannon, as I like to call it. That's the first time in my entire life I called it that. Just to let you know, just to keep you up to date with this crap going on. So, got the calipers all put together. Obviously had a little problem with the bleeder screws. Got the right tool. Sometimes having the right tool is absolutely critical. Critical. That's the proper way to say critical as well. Just, again, keeping you in the loop. So, got the calipers all together. Obviously, they look gorgeous. They are gorgeous. Next video you're going to see is taking off all the stock brakes. I'm going to try to get out as much of the stock factory brake fluid as I can. I'm going to use Motul brake fluid in here. So I'm going to get out as much as I can. I have to also take off the stock lines. I have Z1 braided stainless lines to put on. Then obviously I have to put on I have StopTech rotors. And then obviously the brakes that you just saw, I got to put all that on. That's probably going to be, that it is. It's going to be the next video coming out. Next video posted to the account. So that's coming up. I also, you might have cut out a little shiny. I don't know if you could see on camera. I'm looking at the viewfinder over here. You can barely catch a glimpse, but I got the intercooler piping. Finally. So that'll probably be mixed in with a video maybe. I don't know if I'm going to do its own video, but that's coming up. I also have a video when I went to pick up the intercooler piping at Dynamic Performance. I did a video there, and I'm going to try to put together like a pretty cool video kind of about the shop and, you know, with my little stupid crap mixed in. So I did kind of a video there at the shop. I guess, I don't know if showcasing is the right word or not, but I did a video there. So that's going to be coming up as well, so stay tuned. Keep the channel tuned to this station. Don't forget to subscribe down here. I'd appreciate it very much. Very much, sir. Give me a like, comment. Please share this on your socials. It'll help a boy out. It'll help me out. And tell a friend to tell a friend. With that being said, drive fast! Take chances.